Welcome! Today I'm going to be breaking down exactly how save and throws work when it comes to spells and abilities. A successful save can reduce or completely ignore damage and other negative outcomes. When enemies fail saves from our spells or abilities, it can make those encounters far easier to deal with. I've already covered the basics of ability points, modifier and proficiency bonuses, skill checks and attacks in another video. So if anything doesn't make sense here, I suggest you check it out and the link is in the description. In this example, we have Shadowheart being hit with the spell Hold Person. When you examine any spell, it will show what attribute is associated in helping to save against it. With Hold Person, it's Wisdom, meaning our modifier, positive or negative, will be included to our saving throw. And we can see this in the combat log. We have 18 Wisdom for a +4 modifier bonus to our saving throw. But we can also see there's an additional +3 here. Shadowheart has proficiency in wisdom saves because she's a cleric. It provides a +3 bonus here because she's level 5. All classes have proficiency in 2 different attribute types, such as strength and constitution, or in this case with a cleric, it's wisdom and charisma. Putting all of this together in the combat log, we can see the difficulty class or DC for this spell is 15, and we know Hold Person uses wisdom, which is why we then have our wisdom proficiency bonus and our wisdom modifier. Putting both those numbers together gives us our +7, so we would have needed to roll an 8 or higher to pass this save. In the combat log, once again, we can break down how this DC of 15 came about. The first number of 8 is the base difficulty class for all spells, not just Hold Person. Any spell that is cast by you or against you will start with that difficulty base of 8. The +3 wisdom, which is in brackets, is for the Redcap Sage having a +3 wisdom modifier bonus. Every caster has an attribute that scales with your spells, increasing that difficulty based on the modifier bonus it provides. The +2 proficiency bonus is for the Sage being between level 1 and 4, and there is also the +2 for Tactician difficulty, where all enemy spells gain +2 difficulty. And this gives us a 15 that we need to match or beat. And comparing Shadowheart to Lae'zel is night and day in this example. We don't have any wisdom proficiency bonus and we don't have any modifier bonuses. We're simply rolling that 1d20 and we have to get a 15 or higher to save. Casting spells against your enemies works exactly the same as what we've just looked at. Our base difficulty class is 8, as it is for all spells. We then include our primary casting ability stat, in this case being a sorcerer, it's charisma for a +3. And our proficiency bonus of +3 because we are level 5. Adding all that together means our enemies will need to match or beat 14 to save against a spell. And the 2 enemies here have different wisdom modifier bonuses. Target 1 has no bonus and we have a 65% chance for Hold Person to succeed. Target 2 has a +2 modifier and only a 55% chance for our spell to work. Boosting the modifier bonus on your spellcasting stat will make it harder for enemies to save against them. And choosing targets that either don't have save and throw proficiencies or don't have very good modifier bonuses against your selected spell will also greatly improve the chances of it succeeding. Ability save and throws function very similar to the way our spells work. Here we're using Piercing Strike to apply gaping wounds onto a target. And we can see, just like our spells, there is an attribute associated for the save and throw, in this case Constitution. The base difficulty class for the weapon action is 10 instead of the 8 as it is on our spells. We then add either our strength or dexterity modifier depending on what the weapon scales with. And the modifier our character has in this example is +4, bringing the difficulty to 14. Some weapon attack actions also get a bonus difficulty modifier. This isn't displayed in game, but on the wiki, and I'll provide the link for the exact page, you can see all the details. For Piercing Strike, it has a +2, making the difficulty total 16. The only way to improve your DC is to increase the modifier bonus from your attributes. But we can increase our success chances by choosing the right enemies, just like with our spells. A barbarian with proficiency in constitution saving throws and a high modifier bonus will be far harder to succeed against compared to a rogue or a wizard type of enemy. A very important type of save for your casters is a concentration save. Certain spells require your caster to concentrate to maintain it. When taking damage, they must make a concentration saving throw. If they fail, the spell stops working. The DC is equal to half the damage you took with a minimum difficulty of 10, meaning it will always be at least 10, but it could be higher. Each source of damage equates to a saving throw being rolled. A goblin in this example dealt 14 damage on its attack, but also an additional 2 damage. Because this counts as 2 sources, we have to make 2 saves. Concentration saves scale with Constitution, and it is quite important for the cast to be able to consistently pass these saves. Some items can start to increase your odds, but save and throw proficiency makes a huge difference to whether you pass or fail these saves. And this will impact what starting class you select. Only the class you pick at level 1 will provide the save and throw proficiencies for your character. Multi-classing will not add any additional save and throw proficiencies or change the ones you started with. And if you think you will be concentrating on a lot of spells, this can dictate that level 1 selection. Keep in mind that it's not just your save and throw proficiencies that change depending if we take a character at level 1 or multi-class into it later. Paladins picked at level 1 gain heavy armor proficiency. If you multi-class into them, they only get medium armor. It's always wise to check what the difference is, as you might be forced to take additional feats you hadn't planned for. One way to gain a proficiency in a save and throw you don't have is with the feat called Resilient. This could be an option to help you get around multi-classing and what class you want to start with. The Warcaster feat provides advantage on concentration saving throws, which is huge for consistency in maintaining spells. But of course there is a balance. Each feat we take which isn't boosting our primary casting stat, we are potentially hampering our difficulty class on the spells we cast. There are additional ways to increase the chance our spells beat those enemy saving throws. The heightened meta magic ability on the sorcerer can make it so the enemies throw with disadvantage. The wizard can take the divination subclass, making use of portent dice to change the saving throws and ensure they are failed. There are also items which will either help boost your difficulty class on spells or minus the enemy saves. I take an absolutely absurd amount of time to make a video crammed with information but as short as possible. If you value your time being saved or found this video helpful, then a like really helps me to continue to do so. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or what video you'd like me to do a deep dive into next. And thank you so much for watching, I'll see you next time.